Hello and welcome back to Bernò. Also a big hello to all the new viewers and subscribers we've got. It's really nice to have you around. Today we are going to work on that triangle you see in front of us. It's right next to the train main station. I'm starting off by doing the road layout in this area, and in the process of doing so I messed up my recording. I'm really sorry about that. So let me quickly explain what happened. Normally I do most of my cuts on the fly while I'm building, just to ease on the editing process later. And at some point while I was putting this together, like building this, I got confused and started recording the parts which I would have normally left out, and vice versa. So the problem with that is that I basically recorded myself staring at the roads from above and thinking what I should do next. It's not too interesting to watch if you ask me, so yeah, I cut it out, obviously. But I included a clip at the end of this part, showing how the layout looks in the end, just to give you an idea on what you have missed. I'm again really sorry. I'm going to try to avoid these situations in the future, but I can't promise anything here. Yeah, as you can see, I added a tunnel going underneath the train station. Reason for that being that we have a restriction around the station, the old town policy, which basically forbids cars from driving through the area if they don't live here or have a delivery to make. As this doesn't apply to most of the traffic here, I added this tunnel just to ease on the potential congestion we could get on the neighboring areas in the future. So the good thing with this policy is that in front of the train station we don't have too much traffic, and most of the tourists take public transit or go by foot or by bike when they arrive to the city, instead of spawning like a trillion cars, which looks ultimately better than anything else, right? Yeah, and as you can see, this tunnel quickly turned out to a custom tunnel. Using walls and keys to cover up the ugliness I've created by moving the roads down. And the walls actually extend all the way to the inside of the tunnels until the network section of the road begins. So everything looks nice and beautiful inside the tunnel, although nobody would be able to see that. I actually wanted to include a clip in the cinematics of a car driving through the tunnel, but unfortunately the ceiling is a little bit glitchy. You can basically see through it and see everything which is built on top of that, which didn't look too good. So yeah, I didn't do that. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening on the screen. I'm using this monorail track here to create some sort of entrance support for the tunnel. It's an idea I copied from a good friend of mine. He used it for his canals. And at that point, hi Cass, yeah, I liked it very much, and I think it looks really good. You actually should stay tuned for the cinematics in this episode. I think they turned out really good. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. I mean, I built this whole thing. Yeah, but I'm like really happy with them. You can let me know what you think about them in the comments, right? Yeah, I'm also yeah, that's the part with the walls I was talking about, that they extend all the way inside the tunnels. Yeah, I sometimes hang up myself with details which are absolutely unimportant. Yeah, I'm moving all the different wall segments into place, and they look connected, but they are actually not. It's many separate segments. Which I moved close enough together that they give a feeling of a coherent network. Yeah, I'm also going to open up that little concrete space we've got in front of the trucks here by changing the key segment and putting one which doesn't have a fence. And I added a parking lot here. I'm honestly not too happy with how this turned out. Not that it looks bad, but I don't know, it didn't feel fitting to the area. I may come back in the future and change that, but we will see about that. For now, it's better than having nothing, I guess. So yeah, I've kept it. And yeah, as you just saw, I put this guardhouse on top of the light pole, which is glitching from the lower road. Again, the game forcing me to take away I wouldn't have taken otherwise, which again isn't too bad. Like it really tickles your creativity, and I think the results that come up in the end are showable. Huh? I'm also using parking lot decals instead of the parking lot roads parking lots. What a word. Mainly because those would glitch to the lower road, and I couldn't move them up. So yeah, wasn't a good help there. So moving on, I'm placing the first dormitory of many to come for the University of Saint-Bernard. Its name is the Polytechnical Institute of Saint-Bernard, actually. It's a pretty old university, and my idea was that its buildings will be scattered all around the city. So the main building is already placed at the next to the train station, and we have this dormitory here, right next to the tracks. The inspiration for that I've actually got from my university in my city, which has like 3 main campuses, and even in those campuses the buildings are scattered all around the neighborhood. I thought it's something different to have other than like one big coherent campus. And I will try to replicate that in Saint-Bernard as well. We will see how this will work with the campus DLC mechanics. But I'm not too afraid of that. So there's actually a pretty funny story about this dormitory. It's built on a medieval graveyard, and every year when the new freshmen move in, the older students tell them ghost stories about how in the night the ghosts would show up and polter around just to scare them off a little bit. Sometimes they would even play some pranks. But Bernò, actually, that's the name of this neighborhood, has a pretty sad history. It got destroyed and rebuilt a couple of times in the last 200 years, which is something I tried to reflect in the overall look of the neighborhood. I think I was able to achieve a good result on that, but I will let you be the judge of that. In the next clip, you're gonna see me change these parking lots again. Mainly because I glitched the 2 nodes too close together, which resulted in all kinds of funny behaviors from the cars. I thought I could ignore that, but unfortunately I couldn't, so I changed that, and it's not too bad, I would say. So I was, again, like a confused chicken when I was building this. I jumped, I was like working all over the place, jumping around from this block to the next block to the next block. And when I edited the video, I changed the order of some clips. I don't think it's too noticeable, but yeah, I thought another fun fact to add on. Here you can see that I'm adding a modern building in between all those older ones, just like to fit the idea of the neighborhood. And this church right here is the first church in Saint-Bernard, which isn't 100% oriented to the east. It's off by a few degrees, but yeah, that's a secret. Don't tell anybody. I was actually feeling a little bit mean when I was building this, so I decided to add this speed camera in the front of in the entrance of the tunnel, and I'm using the concrete expansion joints as a sensor. So in case you don't know how this works, a computer measures the time you need to drive over the sensors, and from that it calculates your speed, and if you are too fast, the camera will take a picture, and then you will get a wonderful yellow letter from the municipality of Saint-Bernard asking you to pay your fine. I'm also adding all kind of different signage to this place. I may be overdone it a little bit, but again, I will let you be the judge on that. Yeah, I also quickly went into the menu and hit the turn signs using the hide it mode. Yeah, that's actually the first roundabout which we have inside the city limits. Like, we have that big one, but that's just, yeah, how do we say it? Just for the moment. Like, we didn't expand over there, and I need something for the traffic to flow through, right? Yeah, that's like actually the first one inside the city, so I added quite some detail to it. I'm also going to add road markings off camera. Yeah, just to finish off the look of everything and make it a little bit more clearer for the people where they should drive. So anyways, I'm filling in the last 2 empty blocks we've got in this corner, and as you can see, I'm mostly using modern buildings just to fit the history of Bernò, which will be told in a lore video in greater detail at some point in the future. But yeah, anyways, this was actually a pretty huge build. It may not look like much, but believe me, a lot of hours went into getting this look somewhat presentable, especially the first part with the tunnel. Reason for that being, I couldn't decide on how I wanted things to be, so I kept deleting and rebuilding. Yeah, until I finally draw a cut line. Yeah, but I think I'm quite happy with how everything turned out. It doesn't look too bad, although we need to come back at some point in the future and add some more details in this area in general, as well as some trees. But yeah, for now it's pretty presentable, I would say. And once again, I'm working on a terrain difference we've got towards that dormitory we just built. Again, using walls and surfaces, nothing too special. But I decided to go for this staggered terrace look, just to change things up a little bit. And you can see here I'm struggling a little bit with the placement of the walls, as I've got the height too high notification. I could sing a song about it, but better not. Yeah, anyways, I've got a little surprise lined up for you on Sunday. You should stay tuned for that. If you're watching this later, it should pop up in the upper right corner right now. Also adding some greenery to this roundabout, just to round up the look of it, as well as some props to this church, as we needed to bridge that mini height difference we've got towards the entrance. It was actually the asset was like that. I don't know what's up with it. Yeah, but it was an easy fix. Also a good opportunity to add extra detail. And again, we have those anti-homeless benches right next to the church. Is it a coincidence at that point? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you maybe should watch last week's episode. Here I made this clip where I'm detailing this little green space, only that it is pretty sped up. Let me know what you think about that. I actually think it is pretty nice, and I may do that more often in the future. But we are getting close to the end of the episode at this point. I would ask you to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It helps me a lot, and it shows me that what I'm doing is okay. Yeah, also if you have any feedback, you can always let me know in the comments. I highly appreciate that. Yeah, but that's pretty much all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, have a good time.